All right, guys, let me show you why incompetence is incredibly expensive. Let's say we have a virtual assistant here, and they're supposed to put out an article, maybe repurposing a video like we like to talk about. Well, the first thing is they've got to watch that video and learn the actual nature of that material. So maybe that takes 2 or 3 units of time. We talk about LDT, learn, do, teach. So they have to learn. So 2 blocks of 15 minutes. And then they go ahead and decide to do the work, meaning write that article. And it doesn't pass quality because it's got mistakes. It doesn't link to relevant articles. It's got other sorts of issues which our article grader and ChatGPT can spot. So then it requires an expert to come in and be able to then teach. And ironically, the original video here takes just as much time to film as it does for the expert to privately teach this virtual assistant what they need to fix. So then that virtual assistant comes in and they spend some effort learning what's been taught prior to teaching here, not our courses. Our courses are already outside here. They don't cost us any extra time, already filmed. So then they try again, and usually they take 2 or 3 hours because they want to try again because they messed up and they want to make sure they do it right. And then it doesn't pass quality because they submit it. So then someone else has to come in and teach again, right? That expert, someone outside of the VA, someone who's a more senior VA potentially, but someone else where it's costing the team money, right? And they get disappointed because they put in all this effort. The original submission 1 failed, submission 2 failed. And then we ask at this point for active listening. We ask them to grade their article on a scale of 1 to 10 or 8. It'll usually say like a B plus, or even here they'll say like B plus, here they'll say like A, and really it's like a C, but they get offended, right? Because that's the actual grade. So then we're trying to test their comprehension and their ability to practice active listening. And then what they end up doing is, because we'll say, hey, why is it important to link to related articles? Why is it important to have a more specific title than the one that you chose? Let's say it's one on pest control, and they chose one saying, the importance of growing a business. Like, well, that's too broad. We're not trying to rank on that keyword, so it's got to be something more specific to the goal, content, and targeting, back to the original content here. So then what they do, when we ask for active listening, they usually come in, I'll just show this direction here. They'll come in and then try to teach us as a way to reflect back. Then we have to review it and put in another teach cycle to try to improve what they've missed. They don't realize what's wrong. And so then they'll go through another do cycle. But then they have another submission, and let's say one more do cycle, so that's another hour, which is actually reasonable. A lot of these VAs will spend like 8 hours. You'll even say 10, if you look at the time cards, you'll see like 10 hours. So there's submission number 3, and then that fails, and we try to teach them. So iteration number 4. And by the way, usually at this point, there's about a week we typically see between each of these. So now we are 3 weeks in trying to get this article out. Could be a podcast episode. Now we're 3 weeks out, almost a month out. And if it didn't happen at stage 1, 2, or 3, usually that virtual assistant has lost track of their email, lost track of Basecamp or the project management system. And then we've got to come in and chase them because they missed. And then chase them because they're ashamed. They don't know what to say. So we got to chase them. Other people are involved in the thread, right? And then eventually they may come in, or we may have to, they'll try again and they'll try again. And then maybe it will be okay. And let's just say this was a quality virtual assistant and they eventually learn the actual topic. Let's say the topic was, how do you do roofing estimates? Or in Bloomington, Indiana, how do you cut down a tree? Like an article about something. If they don't know that actual topic, if they haven't actually learned that topic, they will have had to learn it along the way, but then require the teaching of someone who does know the topic to teach them. So let's just say that this does pass. Now, how many cycles from the VA alone do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that's 17 cycles. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to be able to grade. So 7 expert cycles, which are more expensive. That's 24 cycles of 15 minutes is 6 hours. And you might think, well, that's not too bad, because if the virtual assistant costs $5 to $10 an hour, which is normal, let's just call it $8 an hour, then $8 an hour times 6. And this is assuming the expert like me or someone else is the same rate as the VA. I'm just being as conservative as possible. That's still $48 in direct costs, not management costs, not project management costs, not software, not allocated overhead, not all these other costs that have to happen, just direct labor costs, not accounting for benefits and all these other things. That's just to get one article out. Now, let me tell you what happens when there is not a VA involved. So if I'm an expert and I'm recording a video and I turn it into an article, just like this one even, where I'm showing what the true cost of incompetence is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to record one video, just like the one you have here, and that instantly comes across the finish line. So it's one cycle. So what you have going on here, and this is being generous, is 24 cycles to get one article done. And here you need one cycle of effort by an expert to get one article done. So someone who's a VA, and let's say they're at $5 an hour, choose whatever number, you can plug in the numbers for your own, whatever it is, versus someone who is pretty good at what they're doing, and let's just say they're $100 an hour, just using simple math. The $100 an hour expert is actually cheaper than the $5 an hour expert, because this is a 20-to-1 ratio, and this is a 24-to-1 ratio. And that's not counting the fact that this also took a 1-month delay, versus me, I can crank this thing out in 5 minutes. I say 15 minutes is a cycle just to give people some buffer time. Go to the bathroom, catch up on social media, do like whatever. But most of these things take 5 minutes to do. Of those of us who are competent, who have learned, done that particular thing, like doing SEO, building websites, running ads, public speaking, drilling a hole in the lawn, I mean, whatever it might be. If you've done that thing, it only takes you one effort. And so the Green Berets have a saying that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Another way to, which is kind of ironic, right? Another way to look at that is measure twice, cut once. So someone who really knows what they're doing, they don't have to go round and round and have someone QA and check it and follow up when they ignore the message or have lost track. Because this VA, maybe over the course of this month, they've already started 3 or 4 other articles while they still have this one that's not done. So they put in now 160, 200 hours of work in a month, and they've yet to get even one item actually done. So what we care about, not how many hours, nor how many items were submitted, 1, 2, 3, 4 items submitted. We care about how many actual completions there are. So if you're a virtual assistant, you're seeing this, now you know why in the weekly MAA cycles, we want you to show how many articles, videos, whatever assets, books, you've actually got completed, actually done. Not because you say they were done, but because they actually meet our guidelines, which our AI grader can actually now grade for you. Now, a final analogy to show you is, let's say that this virtual assistant is trying to dunk on a basketball hoop. And this is not a very good looking basketball hoop, but let's just pretend that it is, right? And here's the goal. And they're trying, they're 5'5", whatever, I'm 5'5", and they're trying their best to dunk this basketball, but they can't get there. They're trying and trying, and they spend months and months jumping, and then, Shaquille O'Neal comes in with his basketball, and he can just dunk one time, and it takes him 5 seconds to dunk that basketball once. How much effort? It's like this. Someone who's good at what they're doing, they don't need much time. This person's put in all this effort, like I put in 160 hours of effort learning how to jump, learning how to, working out, strengthening my muscles, eating right, sleeping, all this effort, I have not dunked it once. This guy over here spends 5 minutes, and he might dunk it 50 times, right? And you might say it's not fair because he's tall or he's been in the NBA or whatever it is, but the same thing is true over here. But you don't have to be 7 feet tall over here. You just have to have repeated experience in doing that particular thing. So optimizing PPC campaigns, processing videos, fixing, whatever the task is. We have this thing called the 1,000 task library, right? And that's where we have documented, especially me, where I have documented myself doing these tasks over and over and over again. And I've documented how long it takes. How long does it take to do an audit? How long does it take to do one of these things? How long does it take to write an article? How long does it take to record a training video, like 1-minute videos, 5-minute videos, this kind of thing. So this is the true cost of incompetence. They think they're getting it done right here, but it's actually not done because it doesn't meet the standard. It actually takes much longer. And because of Dunning-Kruger, the Dunning-Kruger effect, look it up, it'll change your life. The true cost is way higher. So if you want to hire someone who's not competent, that's expensive, right? If you want to get it done right, cheaply, hire an expert, ironically. You wouldn't hire the cheapest heart surgeon. You wouldn't, if the heart surgery took 40 hours, well, the patient's probably dead. You want the heart surgeon that doesn't charge the cheapest per cut. You want the surgeon that actually drives the result with the least number of cuts, not because they're hurrying, but because they know what they're doing, and in one shot, they can do that task. Any task, not just digital marketing, but especially digital marketing, because AI is multiplying our competency. So if you use AI, then the expert now is all of a sudden worth 10 times that. And that's what we're trying to do. Take the experts using AI. These VAs using AI, they're just going to create 10 times the garbage. Hope you found it valuable. Let me know. What do you think about this?